everybody, today we're going to build this Star Wars Revel kit of the Millennium Falcon from The Force Awakened. This is a level 1 snap tite kit with some lights and sound fanciness that I don't really care about, but it was the only Millennium Falcon I could get handily at the store, and I really wanted to make a Falcon. So here I'm going to go through the bits and bobs and kind of show you what's in the kit. And then here's the top of the Falcon and the bottom. It's really thick plastic here, so you don't have to worry about flex after everything's together. It's very solid. You can almost throw it across the room. It's your standard Revel instructions, not too bad. I will have to say that if you're planning on repainting it like I am, I would highly recommend painting the landing gear compartments before you put the landing gear in. The feet do not come back out without having to tear the whole thing apart. Other than that, I'll just pop in and out as I usually do, so enjoy the video. Here, I don't like the fact that the turrets and the antenna array spin, so I'm going to go ahead and glue them down just with some super glue, just so that they stay in one place. And the other thing is that the diffuser for the engines is just a little too see-through, so I'm just sanding the inside of it just to make it not so where you can just see the two LED points. This way it's a little bit more diffused like you'd want. The first step to painting it is I remove the diffuser and I'm just getting Nolan oil from GW and going over the entire miniature with the black wash, obviously just to darken it all up. Next step for painting it is I'm mixing some stone gray with a blue, I think it was sky blue from Reaper, mixing those together with a little bit more gray than blue, but just to give it that blue-gray look that really kind of matches the color that was already on the miniature. And I'm just going back over all those colored spots, and I'm not making new colored spots. I'm just using the ones that were already pre-painted those colors just for the ease. This is more of just bringing that color back up. Where there are little grommets on those panels, I am just leaving the the shade around it. That way it still has that definition. And of course I'm trying to stay away from the edges as much as I can so that you still have that clear definition between the panel and the shaded areas between the panel. The next colors on here is a brick red and blood red, mixed pretty much in a 1-to-1. Both of those are Reapers as well. This is just to go over the red spots that are on the miniature, doing this kind of the same methodology we used on the blue-gray. The next color I'm using, also Reaper, is Polished Bone, and this is probably the most time-consuming part of the entire paint, but I am keeping this really watered down so that it doesn't completely... I want it to mix more with the gray that was underneath it, but this is, of course, to bring all of the colors back to the Falcon so it looks more like the color it's supposed to. The shading is really... did a wonderful job on it, but it still is just a little too dark. So this will kind of brighten that up. And the methodology here is the same as everything else. I'm just painting within the panels. Seems the Falcon's really nice that you have all these clearly defined panels. So I'm just sticking in between just the panels themselves and not so much the areas in between the panels. And I think you get the gist of it here. My camera did cut out of storage, so the footage just kind of ends, but you get the point of what's going on there. The next color I'm using is Pure White from Reaper, and this is going to be a dry brush, so I am really taking most of the paint off of the bristles. I don't want a lot of this white or it'll go overdone, but this is going to be a dry brush over the entire miniature, and this will just help crisp up those edges that we have that are kind of between the shade and the highlighting. You really kind of lose some of the detail. This just really just brings all that detail right back out and does a really good job of it. As you can see, I haven't even painted the feet yet. This is just flashing through. I keep moving to flapping the feet because as I'm holding the miniature down, I keep pushing the feet back in because they aren't really that solid. But here's a little bit closer of a look of this highlight, and you can just see how much of a difference that makes just with this very quick highlight of that pure white. Next thing we're going to use is pure black, and I'm going to paint all of the landing gear and struts this pure black. This is where I was saying that probably would be a better, if you're doing this yourself, to paint these separate before you assemble it together, since it's just going to be pure black anyway. And then since the canopy windows were already black, I kind of liked the look, so I'm just going back and just re-blacking where the dry brushing and everything has picked up onto the windows. And then after the pure black, I'm going to go back over the windows with a faded black, also from Reaper. This will just give it a little bit of a color difference, so it doesn't just look pure black in there. Really almost isn't necessary, because the pure black does look pretty good as well. This just kind of grays it up just a little bit more. And then after that, I will go through just the bottoms of the landing gear. I decided to have the landing gear up, or towards in flying mode, so I just painted the very bottoms of it just to give it just a color difference. I may come back and redo the landing gear later. I'm not really super happy with it, but here's some finished pictures of the Falcon. I think it turned out pretty decent, and it did not, as you can see, it didn't mess with the engines. They still light up. Thanks for watching.